The high quality replay is going to be available on omstars.com, and all of my 1 hour classes from YouTube are over there, plus like 3,000 other amazing classes. You can watch all commercial free and you get a 14-day free trial. So head on over to omstars.com. Second thing I want to share is my podcast. The Yoga Inspiration Podcast launched this week. Got a brand new episode that just dropped today. Go check it out. It's available everywhere where podcasts are available. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel here, you should totally do that. Remember to like this video and leave me a comment. Hey, everyone who's joining, let's go on over to the mat and get started. Okay. Come to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes. Bring your hands together and we'll get started on this 1 hour yin yoga for pain relief class. A long, deep inhale. As you exhale, drop your hands down to any comfortable position, keeping the eyes closed and your attention dropping inward. Start off with a few moments of mindful awareness to establish the inward direction of the mind. Begin with noticing the breath, this traditional anapanasati, or the focus on breath meditation, that helps keep your mind concentrated on a single point of attention. Always the breath, always the beginning. After you notice the field of the breath, then gently bring the attention to the body, holding the body in a sphere of awareness, almost as though you just scan through the body, being aware of what is. Then lastly, bring the attention to the mind and the emotions. Notice the quality of your thoughts, the texture, the vibration of your emotions. Not judging or trying to change, just observing. And in the state of pure observation, you root your attention into the field of open awareness. Then allow yourself a long, deep breath in. As you exhale, softly open the eyes and let's begin. Inhale, lift the center of the chest and feel the breath rising up. Exhale, place the fingers on the ground on either sides of your body. Then inhale, lift the spine. Exhale, just easy. Let's drop your head over to the left. Stay there for a moment, just be aware of what you feel, perhaps gently moving the head a little bit back, a little bit front, a little bit back, a little bit front, then hold it in the middle, then gently press the right hand towards the ground. And what we're doing here is just releasing tension through the neck, a really common place for so many people to store stress. And when you feel the discomfort in the body, remember we're not here to wage a war against it. We're just here to feel, to experience, and to bring the mind into a space underneath your thoughts. Inhale, come on back up. Shake out the shoulders for a moment. Let's try the other side. Inhale, long, deep breath in. Keep the fingertips pressed. Exhale, drop your head over to the right. Keeping the fingertips on the ground, let's just go a little forward, a little back, a little back, a little forward, and just nice easy rolls. Keep it in the center now and then press the left hand down. It doesn't have to be flat, you're just kind of creating more length and encouraging gentle release, gentle spaciousness through the neck. One more breath, feel what you feel. Inhale back to the center. Shake out the shoulders, shake out the head, and just kind of let the head be free, kind of pivoting on the atlas at the very top of the cervical spine. You can explore those little neck movements for a moment. Up and down, maybe keeping the fingers right at that upper portion of the cervical spine so you can feel the movements of the neck. All right, now inhale nice and steady. Exhale, just gently look over to the right. Don't force it. So this is not a competition. It's not like, how much can I twist my neck? Just gently look over to the right. Gentle, gentle, nice and easy. One more breath and just kind of really feel the fluidity. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, just easy look to the left. So what you're trying to do now is isolate movement in the cervical spine, and you want to stop when your shoulder starts to follow you. So just find the movement isolated in the neck and just let that be there as it is. Let's go for one more breath. And inhale back to the center. Now we're going to recruit a little bit of the thoracic spine. So inhale, lift the center of the chest, and then exhale, twist over to the right. Now, because you're twisting with your thoracic spine, the movement of the neck is actually minimized compared to what we did before. Just be real conscious and tune into the different sensations. Activate the pelvic floor and lift the ribs up and away from the hips, and keep the mind in a calm, equanimous state, a deep and meditative awareness. We'll stay here for one more breath, just nice and easy. Inhale back to the center, exhale there. Now we're going to go on over to the other side. Inhale, long, deep breath in. Exhale, easy, over to the side. And just stay here, feeling what you feel. No fight, no force, just let yourself breathe and be. Feel the movement, articulation through each joint of the spine, particularly concentrated in that thoracic spine, around your rib cage, grounded in through the pelvic floor, drawing the muscles of the low belly in and creating length through the spine. One more breath. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, just shake that out for a moment. So remember, in your yoga practice, it's really important not to be in a competition, not with yourself, not with anyone else. It's not like, how far can I stretch my body? No. What we're here to do is to use the posture as a vehicle for a deeper sense of awareness, more feeling, more intimacy with the heart space. And so tune into that. Equanimity of the mind is more important than stretching the body. We use the body as a window into that inner world. Okay, inhale, arms out to a T shape and give me your flat palms. Hold that for 5 breaths and really press. And really start to just really open the fingers, and let's go up and down with the hands like this. So just kind of like, sweeping back and forth, like waving back and forth with the hands. And this is just helping release tension through the wrists, through the forearms, and then you're going to turn the fingers down and press out through the heels of the hands. Elevate your chest when you do this, and just really press out with the heels of the hands like you're trying to peel the fingers back towards the body. And now let's move in through the neck a little bit. You're going to do head to the left, right arm back, and just reach back. So try to get a little feeling. Find out where you feel what you feel. Through the neck, you can lean over, you can move the hand back and just kind of explore some light, easy movements that help you release. Inhale back to the center, head over to the right, and then let's just kind of move that left hand. You have to find your spot a little bit. Where's your spot? It'll almost feel like you are moving a string, like almost like you're flossing the nerves through the body, just giving them a little bit of movement. Okay, let's come on back to the center. Press with the hands, reach, 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 reach. Exhale and drop it down. Okay, let's shake that out for a moment. Now, let's move the neck in a very gentle head circle, okay? So here we go, chin down, over to the right, gently look up, over to the left, chin down. We'll do it one more time, over to the right, head back, over to the left, chin down. Other side, head to the left, gently back, over to the right, chin down. One more, over to the left, head back, over to the right, chin down. Then come up, Shake it out for a moment. Did you notice like one place a little tighter than the other? Totally normal. All right, now let's come on over onto your hands and knees. Now's a good time if you want to put your hair up if it was down. So we come over onto the hands and knees, and we're going to start off in child's pose today. So draw your knees in towards each other. We'll do knees together, child's pose. So exhale, sink all the way back, placing the top of the head towards the ground, and gently roll the shoulders forward. Stay here with the breath, and remember those 3 anchor points for the mind and for the body. We have the breath. Notice the feeling of the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Notice the body. What does your body feel? Places of tightness, places of openness, and the change from day to day, year to year that inevitably happens. The quality of your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, your habit patterns. Is it possible to hold it all in an open field of awareness, to say yes to it all, to be in love with it all even? As you stay here, you'll find yourself just dropping down as though layers of tension seem to just peel off the body. Now, stretch your arms forward and we'll come up into puppy pose. So inhale, gently come up. Let's open the knees a little bit. And after you open the knees, let's walk your hands forward, forward, forward. And lifting the hips back and up. Exhale, top of the head down. Coming up onto your fingertips. And you could put a little bit of weight into the base of your big toe, keeping the foot pointed. Sort of like the front edge of the base of the big toe, kind of where the knuckle of the big toe is. That's just to help keep the feet a little bit grounded. We'll stay here for about 5 breaths. 1, 2, feel your body, don't judge. Into places of intensity when you feel them. First of all, always make sure your body is safe from injury. But then places of kind of intensity, go in and explore them so you can practice making peace with adversity, peace with difficult times. Stay there for another moment as the hips move back and up. Then we're going to ask for kind of a deepening of puppy pose. So lift the head up and then slide forward and down so that your chest reaches to the ground. If that doesn't happen, you might want to go back to the other version of puppy pose. Stay here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, keep the belly drawn in, you could close the eyes. 3, 4, hips back and up. And 5, exhale, come on down to the stomach. So stay there for a moment on the stomach, walking your elbows forward, rolling your thigh bones towards each other, and then gently press up. And we're here in our familiar Cobra Pose. Cobra Pose, so deeply therapeutic for your back. So press into the fingertips and really just focus on lengthening the spine. Lift the kneecaps a little bit up and just keep feeling length and spaciousness through the spine. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Bring your mind into a space underneath your thoughts. So when the thoughts come, they will inevitably come. This is the very nature of mind itself, is to think. Just as the nature of body is to feel. And just as the nature of breath is to breathe. So we don't try to stop the thoughts, but instead identify with the space between the thoughts. And then over time in practice, your mind calms down. Deep breathing also helps the mind naturally calm down, but you don't want to grip the mind too hard. Instead, just feel what you feel. Now let's tune into the back muscles. They might be talking to you now. What are they saying? Hopefully your back muscles are saying, hello, how are you? Thanks for turning me on this morning. Then curl the toes under, walk your hands back, press on back to your tabletop position. So find tabletop for a moment, grip your fingertips, curl the toes under, and we'll just hold that there just for a moment. Draw the navel in, keep it nice and steady here. Pressing up through the shoulders a little bit. And then we'll prepare for downward facing dog. So we're going to find the connection into your pelvic floor. Widen the shoulders and then inhale up to downward facing dog. 5 breaths here in downward dog, nice and easy. The navel draws deeply in, staying here, feeling, breathing. Long, steady breaths. No fight, no force, just feel. Keep the navel drawn in, the legs long, the shoulders rolling open. Allow yourself to really breathe and drop down. Find the back muscles releasing out of the pelvis, the neck muscles softening, shoulders releasing. One more breath. Then let's roll forward and sink those knees back down. Point your feet. Open the knees and we'll go for a nice wide child's pose. Just gently sink the hips back and notice what you feel. From here, you could choose to grab a block, maybe rest your whole stomach on the block so you feel more supported, or you can grab a bolster and place that down. If you feel like it's easier to release when your chest is supported, then you definitely want to take the time to grab something supported. But if you don't have anything handy, you're welcome to just flatten your chest completely down and towards the ground. Sometimes having a little bit of space between yourself and the ground will give your joints a little more support so they can release. So the purpose here again is to find the way through the body into a calm and equanimous mind, into a calm, even space where tension releases, where the divisions between you and everything and everyone else start to dissolve, so that the frequency of thoughts slows down, and the mind can orient to what you could call a brilliant luminosity, an eternal light. Almost as though when you redirect the mind away from the ups and downs of the world outside, you can feel a more permanent sense of self that is not the ego, but is something transcendent. What that is, you'll have to experience. Okay, let's inhale, lift the head up, and then slowly come up. Move your block on over to the side, keeping the block over there. Let's draw the knees in. Walk your hands forward, and now we'll work thread the needle. Press into the right hand. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, thread the needle all the way through, relaxing the neck. Taking the right fingers down. And this is another posture where you can really feel your neck releasing. So there's a tendency to push into the head. See if you can just soften everything down so that all that residual tension in the shoulder, in the neck just releases. Let your body move into a feeling like it's floating. Even if there is intensity or discomfort as different muscles stretch and release, see if you can tap into the feeling of floating, the feeling of weightlessness, into that quiet world between your thoughts. If you've ever been to London, or if you live in the UK and go on the subway there, or the tube, as the English call it, you'll hear a phrase called mind the gap. So we can mind the gap between our thoughts here. What's the space between your thoughts? How can you be mindful of that gap between one thought and the other? What is that spaciousness? All right, let's come on back up. Take your right hand. Inhale, come up. Coming back to your tabletop position. Draw the navel in. Lift the right arm. Remember, it's not a competition, it's just explore how much up your right arm wants to go. Exhale, thread it all the way through. Extending the right arm up. Stay there for a few breaths, nice and easy. Mind is calm. Steady breaths. So remember to soften and stay in the inner space as much as possible. Mind the gap between your thoughts. And unlike the subway, what we want to do when we mind the gap in the yoga practice is you actually want to step into it. You want to inhabit the space between your thoughts. Root your sense of self, your sense of identity into that spaciousness that seems to be the container that actually holds the thoughts. Where do these thoughts come from and where do they go? If you can think about the gap between the thoughts or the container that holds the thoughts, we're getting close to the fields of awareness that our practice will tune you into over many years. Okay, let's bring the left hand back. Inhale, come on back up to your tabletop position. From tabletop position, just gently shift your weight from side to side. Let's give it a nice, long, slow roll through your extension on an inhale. Nice, slow roll through the flexion on an exhale. One more. Slowly roll through the spine and exhale round all the way under. Back to neutral. Shaking that gently out for a moment. Curl the toes. Inhale back to downward facing dog. Let's walk about half the distance forward. Soft bend in the knees. Cross the arms over each other. And now it's time for our hanging forward folds. Find the connection into the muscles of the pelvic floor. And then inhale, send the hips back and up. And just again, get that feeling of spaciousness. Spaciousness beyond size or shape. Spaciousness in an energetic sort of sense. In a molecular sense, you could think. Move your weight a little forward. Move your weight a little bit back. Move your weight a little forward. Lifting the kneecaps. Explore how that changes your forward fold. Stay there, feeling, exploring, then bend the knees. One more. Inhale, send the hips back and up. Now release your hands. We'll stay here for a little longer and we'll do one more with a different hand position. All right? So you're going to bend the knees, reach the hands back, interlocking the fingers right on top of your sacrum. If this is difficult for you, you can grab a yoga strap, hold on to it. Then roll the shoulders forward and just drape the arms down over the top of the head. So try to let the shoulders just kind of do their thing and don't control it and just let it do its thing. If you really find that pivot point, there'll be a natural internal rotation of the shoulders. But please, soft fingers. If you're holding on to the strap, just hold on in whatever capacity you need, the least amount of force you need. Same thing with the fingers. Least amount of force you need. Close the eyes. Let it be there for a moment. Relax the neck. Almost there. Then roll the hands back up to the sacrum. Drop the knees down. Take the hands forward and slowly squat down. We're going to squat onto the balls of the feet. Check in with yourself for a moment here. Check in with your breath. How's the breath doing? Check in with the body. How's the body doing? Check in with the frequency of thoughts and emotions. Just notice what you feel. Okay, now bring your feet together. Then we're going to roll through the toes, placing the toes down. We're going to roll back, resting the heels down. Let's do that 2 more times. Roll through the toes, squeeze your knees together, Roll back, resting the heels down. Okay, then let's roll all the way forward, knees down, point the feet. Squat down onto the feet, squeezing the knees together. And we'll stay here for a couple breaths, and we're gonna point the feet, and we'll do this again with the feet flexed. Just stay here for a moment, squeezing the knees in towards each other, rolling the shoulders down. Stay here, calmly breathing, being aware of the spine, being aware of the breath, calming the mind. Dangle your arms by your side, interlock the fingers, and we're going to roll the shoulders forward. Get that internal rotation of the shoulders. Gently start to lean back, and then pressing the hands towards the ground, lift the center of the chest. And just stay here for a few breaths. If it's too hard to press your hands down, touch the fingertips down or grab a block and press your fingertips on the block. This is just meant to be a very gentle coordination of spinal extension with internal rotation of the shoulders. Stay here for a moment, close the eyes. Find that space between your thoughts. Notice the feeling in the body, but try not to identify with it. In the same way, watch your thoughts, but try not to identify with them. Watch the breath, but again, do not identify with the breath. Instead, take the mind and place it in the container that holds all experiences, the open, vast field of awareness. Open the eyes, inhale, come on up. Let's take the hands down, curl your toes under. I'm just going to straighten the legs for a moment, give them a little happiness. Then you're going to roll through the ankles, knees down. Let's walk your feet together. Squeeze the knees in. There are a couple of options for this. You can stay kind of forward with the fingers on the ground. You can grab your 2 yoga blocks and place them up next to you so you can press your hands. This lessens the burden on the feet. Or you can simply sit with your hands resting on your thighs. It's totally up to you. We'll be here for a little while. You want to find out what works for you. I'm going to use the blocks today. Pressing the hands a little onto the blocks. That means you can take a little bit of weight out of the ankles. You might not know this about me, but I actually started yoga after experiencing debilitating ankle injuries. So my ankles are probably my least flexible part of my body. And as I'm here, I really start to feel those old injuries coming up. So remember, yoga is not a competition. In fact, we're here to encourage healing, equanimity in the face of both pleasure and pain, which means that you don't get attached to pleasure and you don't get averted or run away from pain. If you don't do yoga practice or have some spiritual practice, you can spend your whole life running towards one pleasure or another, trying to find happiness, running away from one pain or another, trying to find eradication of suffering. Ooh, it's getting pretty intense down there. Let's just stay for another moment. One more breath. Okay, let's point the feet. Ooh, you survived, feet. Just take a moment and talk to your feet. Hello, my feet. You're good. You did a good job there. Hello, ankles. You did a good job. Okay, now let's move your blocks on over to the side for a moment. Then take the hands down, cross your feet underneath you, and gently extend the legs. Flex the feet. And we'll be here in Dandasana position. So this is the yogi staff pose. Chin down, deep resonant breaths. Take a moment here to breathe and feel. Keeping the mind in a calm and even space. Breathing, feeling. Breathing, feeling. No fight, no force. Just stay here as it is. As you are. Really tap into the space where you are okay with yourself as you are, not as you want yourself to be somewhere down in the future. So if you can be okay with you, yourself as you are, with this body, with this mind, with this life experience, with whatever privileges, with whatever difficulties you have. You're a long way down the road to experiencing true peace. Okay, now we'll go for our seated forward fold. Walk your hands a little bit forward, scoot to the side, and let's send that left sitting bone back. Scoot a little to the side and give me your right sitting bone back. You stay here feeling, coming up onto your fingers. And then to make the forward fold just slightly easier, you can grab a bolster or a blanket and fold it up. And we'll place that right in the belly so you can just give a little ease into your forward fold. Keep the space, and if you need to move it a little more forward, find the place where it's most comfortable for you. We'll just stay there for a few breaths. Maybe you can press the elbows down, taking the hands into prayer position and resting the head just on the hands. Or you could let your head just keep dropping down. Let's keep the elbows a little bit in so that they can cradle the head if the head seems to drop down. Keep your legs a little active so you can be here with feeling, no force, just the experience. Tap into where you are. Calm, even breathing. Calm, even awareness. Stay there with your breath. Stay there with your body. And as you move into a deep space of coherence, where mind, body, breath all seem to follow the same rhythm, then you enter into that quiet state of inner, almost dissolution. It feels almost like the moment before you fall asleep. Having the nervous system so drop down helps you enter a space of rest. Be here for one more breath. Notice how the neck and the spine just want to release. Then release the hands. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Shake that out for a moment. Let's move your blanket on over to the side. Cross your feet underneath you, and then just to roll through the spine, we'll come back to our tabletop position. I know this is a yin class, but we've just got to do plank. So step your right leg back and your left leg back, and we'll come up to plank. And this just really helps your body also stay a little bit warm, particularly if you're joining from a cooler climate. Where I am here in Miami, staying warm is not a priority. You know, there's a reason our basketball team is called the Miami Heat. We've got some serious heat down here. So plank will help you stay warm if you're in a cooler climate. It's also good to just keep a little blood circulation through the body. See if you can find your softness, the yin that is under the yang of the plank position. Hold it for another moment. One more moment, and then let's drop the knees down. Point your feet, and then just slide the chest all the way down. And come onto the stomach. And let the whole body just release. Squeezing every muscle in the body right before you relax also helps the body relax. Now, let's slowly lift the head up. Come up onto the elbows. And grab one yoga block. Place one yoga block underneath your rib cage. Now we'll go for a supported version of the Cobra Pose. So you're going to find the place of comfort here. This is a little uncomfortable, but you're trying to find the place of comfort. If you have a bolster, you may enjoy this better on a bolster, or you can grab your yoga block, and put the blanket right on top of the block, and that may be a little more pleasurable. But the discomfort's going to be there anyway, because what you're trying to do here is give space to the abdomen and space to the organ system. You could take your other yoga block, place it in front of you, so you have kind of like a little platform for the elbows. And this will just make it more comfortable to stay for a little longer. So watch the lower ribs, and what we're trying to do is get the lower ribs to float away from the hips. And that's that spaciousness that comes from releasing tension in the abdomen. But even deeper, there's a sense of spaciousness that happens when the organ system releases. So close your eyes and become intimate with the whole organ system. So many people in this position want to drop the neck back. It's not about the neck. It's about what's happening in the space between the ribs and the hips. Allow the stomach and the liver to float up. Allow the whole digestive system to move around and be flexible. You can want to wiggle around a little bit. You can wiggle around a little bit, finding the space to just be there with feeling, no force, as you are. Glute muscles, butt muscles, stay nice and soft. If you have a hard time keeping those soft, just let yourself wiggle around for a moment. So you can do a little wiggle, 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 wiggle. And then if that doesn't make you smile, then at least it might make your butt soften. So just stay there for a few more moments. It might be getting a little intense. So remember, as you're here in the intensity, just feel what you feel. Try not to force, try not to be, competitive with yourself. If you notice competition, see if you can investigate it, like explore what the frequency of competition is. Are you competing against yourself? And that's a good question to ask. Am I competing? Am I trying to be better than I was yesterday? Is that a bad thing? Are you competing against someone else? Do you look at me and think, I got better do it like she does? Or is the competition, the competitive mindset expressed more in kind of self-directed negativity? Do you think badly about yourself? So remember, we're here just to observe. And this is kind of, what happens when you watch your thoughts. Oh, these are the type of thoughts that's come up for me. How interesting that is. When you know your mind, you can become free of it. But if you don't know your mind, you'll spend your life as a victim to your own thoughts, which is never fun. Shall we stay for one more breath? I think we got one more breath in here. Long, deep breath in. Long, deep breath out. Okay, let's come on out of this. You're gonna take the hands down near the lower block. Send your body back, and let's drop the knees together and just leave all of the props in place. Top of the head down, roll your shoulders forward. And just let the spine reset, the ribs move back into place, the whole body just nicely softening in. No need to go anywhere. No need to do anything other than just be here with breath, body, and mind. Feel what you feel. And let it be okay. All is well. All is well. Slowly inhale, lift the head up and exhale. Press up into your hands, cross your feet, and then exhale, let's sink the hips down. Now we're going to work a straddle position, so you might want to change your orientation. Maybe we keep that block with the blanket on it. A bolster, again, also works just as well. Move one of the blocks on over to the side. And then, having this all nicely set up, figure out what's the best position, There we go. Then, you're going to open your legs, all right? So, after you open the legs, you can do that in whatever fashion you like. Then you're going to wiggle around a little bit. So I want you to take your fingers. I'll just move this over so you can see where I'm placing my hands for a moment. You place your fingers a little bit forward. And this is beyond the posture of Upavishta Konasana. Unless you can only go into a V shape, then just go to a V shape, and Upavishta Konasana is fine. But we try to expand a little bit the inner thighs. Sometimes when the thighs are super tight, it can ricochet up to the back and even start to store tension through the neck and shoulders. So now I want you to lean a little forward, press into the fingertips, and just scoot the butt a little forward. And if that got a little intense, you can scoot the butt a little back. So just stay there for a moment. Then let's grab our prop, place it back in. And again, you want to just figure out what's a good place for you to be. Let me scoot back a little. Then, having everything relatively set up, you can move your chest down and forward. So just come forward. Start off with the elbows so that you can be comfortable, and pivot through the hips allowing your chest to just slide down. And now here's kind of what I think is the real essence of this posture. It's not to let the legs be floppy. If the legs are floppy, they'll tend to roll inward. What we're actually trying to do is a little bit of external rotation. So if you point your feet, tune into the thigh bones and send the thigh bones back and away. This can really help you keep the legs active. And there may be a very kind of like a slow burn in the quadriceps when this happens. You may find that as you stay longer, you can drop down more. And you may find that, well, maybe hands in prayer feels appropriate. So again, you just feel what you feel, letting your mind and body come to a place of harmony and coherence. If you want to stay up on the elbows, stay up on the elbows. Keep that activation through the legs, tuning into what you feel. So remember the feeling, the equanimous mind, the space of what is. What you feel is not necessarily good or bad, but there is this tendency of the mind to tell a story about what is good and what is bad. If we can refrain from that for a moment and just be with breath, breath as breath, body as body, mind as mind, what is the nature of each, then we are far on the road to working for our own liberation. In that state of kaivalya, the freedom, which is what the yoga practice is actually about. Let's go for one more breath. And exhale, walk the hands down. Inhale, come on up. And then you're going to move your legs a little forward. The legs like for a moment to have a little break. All right. Stay there. All right. And now, let's open the legs back up. Maybe not as wide this time. You can explore. This time we're not going to bend forward, so we don't need the block and the blanket. You can scoot those on over to the side. Then, moving again towards the middle, let's add in a little bit of a side stretch. So inhale, lift through the center of the spine. Exhale there, and we're going to lean over to the right side. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, just gently lean. Then you can take your right hand out to the side. And this also helps you extend the shoulder. Be careful of what rotation your shoulder is. So it's not back this way. You're going to roll the shoulder. What feels like forward, but is actually external rotation of the shoulder joint. And you can just keep reaching, 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 reaching. Almost there. Keep breathing. Sweep the hand back and inhale. Here we are again. Exhale. Lean a little into the left hand. Sweep the right arm up, and then you can change to the outside. And just reach. So it's a really deep and powerful reaching, reaching across from the pelvis, up and away. Nice and easy. Pressing a little into the left hand. Remember to keep those legs activated as you reach. So you're almost pushing yourself a little forward through the hip joints. And then glide gently down. Okay, let's bend the knees. Pull them all the way in and give yourself a little hug as you just tuck under. Shake that out through the spine. Keep the mind calm and then exhale. And then let's grab that block with the blanket and put it in the middle of the spine. And then you can keep it down this way or you can keep it up. It's really up to you. You got to figure out what's going to feel more comfortable for your spine. Then we're going to turn the other block up into our T shape. So let's see how that goes with the blanket. Maybe decide to take the blanket off or keep it there. And lift the spine up and over. And then pressing the head back onto the center of the block. Extend the legs, taking the elbows down. And we'll be here in this supported version of fish pose or Matsyasana. And close your eyes and drop the attention more and more inward so you can feel the breath, the body, all coming into a quiet space of harmony, coherence. See if you can watch everything from the seat of awareness. So as a thought comes in, see if you can watch the thought. If a sensation arises in the body, see if you can observe that sensation. Put a little space between the sensation that arises and your identity. Similarly, the breath. Breath moving in, breath moving out. Be aware of that. Feel what you feel, but just be aware of your breath, your body, your mind. Give yourself a chance just to drop down. Taking the time to roll through each breath, taking the time to orient towards that quiet inner space of awareness. Keeping the breath fluid and deep, the mind calm and aware. Turn your palms outward now, keep the feet touching, and we'll start to change and work a different shoulder position. So bring your hands together. When you bring the hands together and the elbows come towards each other, we begin to work external rotation of the shoulders. Take the hands to the head, and then let's glide backwards until you can feel the block, and maybe you just stay with your hands resting on the top of that upper block. Elbows squeeze the head, and you don't want to let the elbows wing out to the side or we change the rotation. So really keep the elbows squeezing the head. If you want to tie the elbows up with a strap, it's totally okay as well. This, of course, makes the back bending work a little more challenging. For those of you who feel pretty flexible, maybe you can hold on to the block as well. Don't hold too tightly. Just let it be enough to give you a sense of space, keeping the head supported, and just allowing yourself to really keep squeezing the elbows towards the head so you can really track your shoulder in that external rotation. Stay for a few more breaths, a few more breaths. Notice the discomfort, the difficulty. Make sure the body is safe, but don't run away from discomfort. Stay for another breath, almost there. Okay, let's bend the knees. Inhale, change the shoulders, placing the elbows down, and drop your knees over to the side. And now, let's go ahead and move your block all the way over. And we're going to do one more position with the block. So you're going to turn it up like this, just for, I don't know if you need this for this version, but let's try. It's been kind of nice to have a little padding. So this is a little bit of an awkward position to get into, but so good to release the front of the pelvis. So we'll try. Let me roll down and then place the spine down. Then you're going to lift your butt up. And then you have to settle the sacrum right on that upper portion of the block. And then make sure that the tailbone starts off tucked under so that it gives spaciousness. But then as you stay here, the tailbone is no longer tucked under. So you can feel whether you like the blanket or whether it's too much. You can also change the height of the block. So if it's too much to have the block like I do up here, you can change it this way. You can even change it down here. Obviously, the higher it is, the more uncomfortable it's going to be. Let's extend the legs. And then what we're thinking about here is releasing the psoas, or release the psoas. If your head is floating off the ground, please take the yoga block and place it under your head. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Now, bring your feet close together And just give a little bit of movement of the thigh bones towards each other. And this will, of course, make it more uncomfortable in that poor psoas region. So we stay here, feeling, breathing, letting the sacrum move into position, giving space to the front body as the ribs float away from the hips. Nice and easy, keeping the mind calm, evenly paced, steady breaths. Stay there for one more breath. Now, let's do something a little fun. You can totally choose not to participate in this last little idea of mine. Bend your knees a little, aim the top of the head down, and see if you can interlock the fingers like you're in a headstand. Then press into the elbows and see if you can lift yourself off of the yoga block and into Viparita Dandasana. Hold this there for a moment. And try to make it be as soft as possible. You can walk your feet closer together or keep them a little apart and try to straighten the legs. Totally up to you. Stay there breathing just for a moment. Just feel it. No force. Don't worry about how deep you are. And let's bend the knees. Take the hands down. Probably find the yoga block. Slide away from it until your whole spine just rests on the ground. Move the block on over to the side. Thank the block. Very good. Nice blocks. Move the blanket over there too. We're going to use the blanket again in a moment. But first, constructive rest position. Knees together, sacrum on the ground. Take a moment and just let the spine just kind of like settle and reintegrate. Settle and reintegrate. Steady breathing. A few breaths like that. Mind is calm. All is well. Bring the hands up. Okay, let's draw the knees into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze here. And just feel knees into the chest. Releasing the muscles of the back. Releasing the mind. Releasing the body. Stay there just for another few moments. Steady breathing. Feeling the movement through the hip joints. Through the sacrum. Deep breaths. Extend the left leg out. We'll go for our reclining twist. So just slide on over. Get yourself into a nice position and extend the right arm. We'll stay here feeling, breathing. Deep breaths. Releasing through the right shoulder, releasing through the neck. Let the mind open into that vast field of awareness. Give yourself time to wind down, to unwind. And inhale back to the center. Check out the movement through the hip joint. Switch the sides. Left leg pulls in. Then let's slide on over. And extend the left arm. And if you feel like, oh, the left arm doesn't want to go to the ground, it's okay. You could grab a pillow and just put that left arm under a pillow as well, or the block, which is right there, and just stay there. But what you don't want to do is just force the hand down. Feel what you feel. Sometimes tightness is thickness, so you might not feel anything at first. It might just feel stuck. That's okay too. The idea is to just be here in what you feel, with what you feel. Inhale, come on back to the center. Check out that hip joint for a moment. And then exhale, set it down. grab the blanket, place it underneath, on top of you here, and then you're gonna work a little bit, scoot down a little, you're gonna work a little bit of a roll. So we're gonna support the neck as we're here. Then I want you to roll just a little, like almost like you're rolling a towel. Okay, maybe it's easier to just take it out in front and then roll like you're rolling a towel. So you roll, that's probably enough. Take that back over your head and then lift your neck on to that little roll so that that supports the cervical spine. And then you want to find how much support you need. And then this is the place where you'll extend the arms, extend the legs, and then we'll lie gently down. Make sure that you have a lot of space behind the neck here. And then allow your mind to just cycle down into a quiet space of healing, a quiet space of inner reflection, in a space where all is well, a space beyond judgment, transcendent of the inevitable ups and downs of the mind and the body, beyond the temporal into the eternal. In the here and the now, in the space between the thoughts, underneath the skin, deep in the inner body, into the emptiness of the inner body, in the space between the breaths. Just a few more moments with this in the support position with the neck. This helps reestablish the cervical spine curve, which can flatten out when we have too much tension in the neck. Go for one more breath like this. Feel yourself dropping down, layers of tension just peeling off, melting off. Then grab the blanket, gently lift the head up, gentle, gentle, roll the blanket out, and then just gently be here, turn your head side to side, and feel the space. A few more moments just to settle into the space. And here, bring your attention to the heart center as we begin to work the vibration of metta, or loving kindness. First, offer the vibration of metta towards yourself. Feel your body and embrace your body in a field of friendliness. And say to your body, hey, my body, may we always be friends. And you may even feel like you want to apologize to your body. Hey, my body, I'm sorry I've mistreated you. I really do love, honor, and appreciate you, my body. My dear body, you're the only one I have. Then the essence of you, yourself. You may want to say to yourself, hey self, I like you. I like and love myself. I recognize my inherent value, my intrinsic worth. May I be happy. I'm worthy of happiness. May I be successful. I'm worthy of success. May I be filled with love. I am worthy of love. Allow yourself a long, deep breath in. Feel the vibration of metta, of loving kindness, roll through your body like a wave and embrace. Then start to move your fingers, toes, hands and feet. Let's bend the knees and the elbows back to constructive rest. And draw the knees up into your chest, a little squeeze in. And let's roll over onto the side. Come on back up to seated. Eyes closed for a moment. Keep the attention at the heart center. And now feel your body. Feel the space around the body at the level of the heart. Around the body at the level of the heart. Notice the space around the body at the level of the heart, expanding infinitely outward. Then here in this heart space, be aware of the presence of all beings. Countless beings, infinite amount of beings. All the animals, all the cherished pets, the cats, the dogs, and all the other pets. All the wild animals, the tigers, leopards, zebras. All the wild animals, the raccoons, the bison, the deer, the crocodiles and alligators, all these wild animals, all these beings with capacity for feeling, pleasure, pain, all these beings. All the industrial animals, the animals in industry, the cows, the goats, the pigs, the chickens, and all the other working animals, with their capacity to feel emotion, sensation, pleasure, pain. All the human beings on the whole planet. It's almost incomprehensible, the amount of beings, billions of beings, human beings, those whom have lived before us, those whom will come after us, who are incarnate now and who remain in the spirit. These countless beings, the old, the young, the rich, the poor, those whom we know dearly, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, those beings whom are far from you, whom you may never meet, and those beings whom you count as an enemy, those ones whom you don't like very much. All beings created in the same likeness, in the same divine image, in the heart space. Feel the vibration. I am one with all beings. I am one with all things. May all beings, including myself, may all beings be happy, be peaceful, be filled with love. May all beings be safe and secure. May all be healthy, those whom are sick. May all those whom are sick be healed and restored. May all those whom are healthy continue to thrive and be vibrant. May all beings, human and non-human, may all beings, including myself, may all be friends. May all live in harmony. May our world be a peaceful, just, and loving space. And may we rest in love, compassion, and kindness towards ourselves and towards others. Bring the attention back to the heart center and your hands come into prayer. A long, deep inhale. As you exhale, softly open the eyes and feel yourself gently coming back. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be filled with love. Namaste. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. I really appreciate it. I hope you feel a little peace, a little bit of relief, and a little bit of happiness, and that you carry that into your life. Remember, the practice will be here on YouTube, also on omstars.com. And appreciate it, everyone. If I could ask everyone who's watching to check out my podcast, I'd love that. Let me know what you think. And if you have any requests for focuses in these classes, be sure to leave them in the comment section after the video uploads to YouTube. And I'll see you on Saturday at 12 o'clock for a modified Ashtanga practice. Thanks, everyone. Bye.